Okay, so as I mentioned earlier in the previous videos, well, RemoSharp is a tool that's mainly focusing on real-time communications. But real-time collaboration may not be the only way that we want to collaborate in every single scenario. So, as previously mentioned, one of the ways that you can share geometrical data is to just serialize them. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can serialize geometry into text and you can save it into files. And then you can share those files as a means of collaboration. So first of all, what we need is the geometry that we want to serialize. So there we go. I'm going to put a point in here. And let's say I'm going to put it like this. And with an item component, I am going to take maybe 1, 2, 3, and 4. So there we go. I'm going to create spheres from 1 and 2 with maybe like 60 as the radius. And I'm going to create center boxes from 2 and 3, just like that. And over here, let's say minus 30 to 30 for these boxes for the interval that goes into the, okay, excuse me, let's put in 15 as the size. All right, no problem. Okay, so as you can see, we have geometry now. So that means I can merge these geometry into just one list. And all right, so what I can do here is in the Remo params, I can choose the RemoGeom stream and put in the right in here. And once I connect this, then I'm going to get a text representation of this geometry. As you can see, it has a tree path and a lot of different characters. I would highly suggest you do not see this text in Grasshopper. If I put a panel in here and connect this wire, it will break your Grasshopper. So let's not do it. Okay, so then that means I can go to the params and use the write to file function. Here's my text content. Here's my path. And I need a toggle to save this geometry to my path. So now that I've saved it here, on the other side, I can use the read component, the read file, and I can say I want everything from this file. And again, we do not preview serialized geometry. Okay, then I'm going to use the RemoGeom parser. Exactly right here. And I'm going to connect this here. And there we go. Now we have exactly the same geometry over here recreated. So that means if I move the points around here, then the geometry on the other side also changes. So, yep, this is the basics of how you can serialize and deserialize geometry if you don't want everything to be completely in real time. Now, the other distinction here is that, well, the geometry is made here, but it's being read here. So this is only a one-way communication method. So, but what if I want to have a little bit more extra data that I can attach to these geometries? For that, I can use the complex geometry streamer and parser. So if I put the streamer here, I can connect the stream geometry just like that, and I need to have tags and colors for it. So before that, it's best to just change this to brep, not to confuse this component. There we go. And tags. For every single one of these geometries, I can add a tag. So let's say I can say each one of these is like representing a pavilion. So I'm going to say pavilion 1, and the second one is going to be sphere pavilion 2, and then box like one, and the last one I'm going to call it just space pavilion. Okay, we have 4 geometries lined up here, so I'm going to right click and say multiple data. I'm going to connect it in the tags, and I can also have color as metadata here. So let's have 4 different colors here, and let's just choose some random colors around like this, and let's leave the last one as white. And if I merge these colors like this, I can send it like this. And let's just use the same write to file function here. So there we go. Now, once I do this, of course, we no longer can use the regular geometry parser. So I'm going to put in the complex parser, and I'm going to connect these. So as before, we have those 4 geometries coming in. But if I have a preview here, then as you can see, we can have the different colors that we set on the other side show up in here. And I can also take a look at their tags. So these are like the metadata that we just wrote with the geometries, and they're unique to that specific geometry from the list. And why do we do this? Well, we can also use the get object by tag from the utilities, and I can attach this. Here are the tags, here are the colors, and maybe I just want what was the name? Box like one. So if I choose the box like one pavilion from these spaces, then I can definitely do that. So this is going to give me exactly those objects. So if I delete these previews, then box like one. That was a typo. And there we go. Box like one is this guy. And if I want to see the pavilion number 1, I just change that like this. So this way you can query the list of serialized geometry and deserialized geometry with a little bit more control. And yeah, so this is all about how you can just convert geometry into text and share that geometry through a file path, just like this. So, okay, then let's move on to the next video where I can show you how you can share your functions. So, yeah, let's take a look at that.